Good morning and welcome to the World Junior Ultimate Championships here in Waterloo. We are on the showcase field brought to you by Cut Camps. This is the men's semifinal, the first semifinal here. So we have Team USA taking on Belgium in an exciting matchup. Right now we have Team USA on offense. Moving the disc very well. Nice throw out into space. That's Taylor looking towards the end zone now. That's Benjamin Priest. And a little bit of a touch on that throw, but number 53, Mox, hangs on to it. USA right on the doorstep here. That's a cheeky throw. They're still a little bit outside the end zone. And that's a nice throw out into space. That is a goal for Team USA.
Nice, clean offense there from USA.
Absolutely. And sorry we started a little bit late there. You know, first thing in the morning, some technical difficulties in the booth. But I'm Naomi Redmond. You've been hearing from me all week. Today I'm joined by one of my Sixers teammates, Miriam Tingle. Thank you so much, Miriam, for coming out to Waterloo to join me today.
Thank you.
And Miriam has been to 2 Worlds herself already this summer. Spectating today, that's her third. Going into the semifinals, what do you think is the most memorable thing that can happen to you at Worlds?
Oh, man. I think just playing against really good teams and in such high-pressure situations is a really good test. And it's really exciting. You get to experience that pressure, and it's really fun.
Absolutely, and we can see here we have Team USA's defensive line. This team is so good. We've gotten to see them a few times, and they have been absolutely clinical in everyone that they've played. Belgium, on the other hand, also very good, kind of stunning the competition this week. We didn't really expect them from the seeding, at least before the tournament, to go this far. Really impressive work. Unfortunately for them, one of their teammates, Benjamin Oort, out of the Netherlands, will not be playing today, and he's been critical. We saw him in the quarterfinal yesterday just throwing bombs out, so it's going to put a lot more pressure on some of these throwers, like Feller there with the disc, also Benjamin Yonkers and Orlovsky's, really important players to this Belgium offensive line. Unfortunately, that throw is going to go just out of bounds, and this American team has a chance to break. This is Ryan Dinger on the sideline. Nice inside shot, lots of touch, and another throw out into space. And that is number 32, Samuel Hammer, with the goal. And that's the first break of the game.
I think Belgium has time to get used to this. It's just 2 points in.
Yeah, and we saw Belgium face off against the New Zealand men's team here in quarterfinals yesterday on the showcase field, and we had seen New Zealand the day before take Team USA like they were going toe-to-toe. I believe they ended up losing 14-11.
Wow.
But it was an incredible game. I was on that sideline, and the energy was just so electric. And then yesterday we saw Belgium hand a huge loss to New Zealand. I believe the final score was 15-7 or 15-8, something like that. So we know that we can see a lot more from this Belgian team. They just have to settle themselves. And yesterday they were throwing these scoobers in the wind with 40-kilometer winds gusting. And so we know they have the throwing skill. They just need to tighten things up and not make as many mistakes, because these Americans really know how to score.
Yeah.
So Yonkers to pick up. A little bit of a junky look here from the American team. Yonkers going deep. He's so fast, so long, tracks it right outside the end zone. And back to Feller. That's one of their favorite connections. That is a hold for Belgium.
So fast.
So fast. And you could see Yonkers there looking at the field, seeing that there weren't any options. So he struck from the handler position in the middle of the field and just using his length, using his legs, and his speed to go all the way to the end zone.
It must be nice as well for the players to have such perfect conditions as well. At the moment, there's very little to no wind, whereas I think all week it's been quite windy.
It's been all over the place, honestly. Like the first couple days were super hot, pretty muggy, and not windy, and then we got into some rain and then a lot more wind. But from where the camera's pointing right now, you can see the flags in the background. They are not moving at all. It's totally still. We're feeling safe up in the booth. It's been a little rickety for the last couple of days, but it's definitely perfect conditions. And so this is where both teams can start throwing stuff that they have in perfect conditions. So wind is not going to be a factor in this game at all.
Have you seen a lot of zone from either of these teams?
Yes, I think the American team is running more of a junk set, but the Belgian team have been running a zone look with 3 people in the cup, following back and forth and forcing to one sideline. And I think we may. No, it looks like we're gonna go person here. Yeah, they've also been setting up sort of a junk look as well with their cutter defenders setting up underneath and then putting one person deep. So they've been doing a lot of different stuff, but this looks like it's just going to be some person. It's Ang in the middle, looking deep. DiFrancesco out to the sideline. Nice bid by Desmarais, but he has to get back on the mark. DiFrancesco out into space. That's a nice cut. And that is an easy goal for Team USA. That is just very clean offense.
I like how USA, the handler movement is very fast and very strong. There's no hesitation, no juking. It's very simple cuts, and it looks really clean.
And they seem to always have another option set up. So if it doesn't work, they're so systematic. When I got here this morning, Team USA rolled in about the same time as I did, 20 after 7. They were here already, and then when I came out to the booth, they were practicing their end zone, and you can see that they're a very, very systematic team.
Yeah.
And that's clearly paid off for them all week because they've done so well in this tournament. Aside from that one New Zealand game, I don't think they've really been challenged, and they still won that game by a comfortable margin.
Yeah.
So very, very strong team, and the skill set is so high. We were talking yesterday about how in the States, they just have such a big pool of people to draw from. They have tons of resources, tons of bodies, and that's why they're able to put out these incredible juniors programs.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of other teams here with 15, 16, 17 people because the program is a little bit smaller, and they're having a hard time bringing people out to Waterloo, which is fair. We're a lot further away from the general European area than where Worlds usually is, but we've been really happy to see so many teams here.
It's so awesome to be able to come and watch just a stone's throw away from Toronto. It's so cool.
It's been very cool. I've been freaking out all week because I'm just so excited. So it's Yonkers in the middle, looking at Kinda. Inside throw again to Arthur Feller. Back to Yonkers. You can hear Team USA yelling that he's a hucker, looking a little bit more straight up on Yonkers, and now he's going deep. It's a nice inside throw. And a nice grab from Feller. Belgium is at 2, Team USA 3. And one of the things that we've seen this week is a lot of these teams, Belgium, I believe they have around 20 people, especially because it's a juniors program. A lot of yards are going through the same 4 or 5 people on the field. So we've seen, particularly, especially on the women's side, I would say, there's some really, really strong players, but they're having to clock so many minutes. And by the time we saw the power pool games on the women's side yesterday and some of the quarterfinals here on the men's side, some of these players were just exhausted.
Yeah.
And so we might see that. I mean, Yonkers is looking pretty fresh out there.
Yeah.
He's running all over the place, but this is a long week.
Yeah.
So it's impressive to see the wherewithal that some of these players have. It's really, really impressive and speaks to the athleticism in the juniors program.
Wow, nice pull.
And we spoke to that when we saw Belgium in the quarterfinals yesterday. Their pulls were devastating New Zealand, and I think we can see that again. But that is a big huck right away out into space. That is a one-throw goal. Number 21, that's Veneri turning on the Jets. And that was so easy for these Americans.
Nice throw. Again, you can see that kind of throw, it can come out so well in this condition, and
that was incredible.
Nice usage of space. Wow, that was nice.
And that was set up by Veneri just sort of deking under and then going deep and shaking free, and he's so fast. Looking at his sort of stat sheet here, he plays for Sockeye out in Seattle and came out of the Nathan Hale High School program, which is perennially a very well-known program on the west coast of the U.S., and everyone's heard those names. Everyone knows Sockeye, so he's clearly doing really well for himself. A lot of these young players, we were talking about USA on both the men's and the women's side, so many of them are touring, so many of them are playing at the club level already, out of the juniors program already. So
young.
They're so young.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we have Team USA with a pull. Belgium looking to hold here. USA with a nice pull of their own. It's going to go into the end zone. Kinda on the far side. Yonkers right on the sideline. Doesn't see a lot upfield, so he dishes it back to the middle. And Feller goes up early. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit too high. So USA is going to get a chance here right away. That is a big throw for Ing.
Wow.
And unfortunately, just out of the hands. That was an incredible bid.
2 huge bids there.
He looks like he might be down.
I would definitely be down.
I actually saw. I was watching part of the USA Great Britain game that we streamed on this field a couple days ago now, and we saw the same player, Ing, have a huge layout D, and he is so athletic. You could see it there. He's a tall guy. He got up really high, and again, just incredible athleticism.
Yeah.
Good to see him get up there on his own volition. He's got a trainer with him, and so the U.S. is going to put in another player. So it looks like number 23, that's Jake Thorne. So it's going to be a turnover, and Belgium is going to have a chance to work it again, but they've got a long way to go to the other end zone. So we're going to have Yonkers pick up in the middle. Team USA set up in a person defense. Guarding the deep side of the players, probably expecting a
deep look.
huck, from Yonkers here. Feller under. Team USA shutting down a lot of options, but Yonkers, unfortunate, looks to Feller, but there's a little bit too much traffic in the way, and that throw's not quite high enough. Thorne on the sideline. Big gainer out into space. And Veneri lays out. That's his second big goal of the game.
Nice grab.
And we see with Team USA here, they're just such complete players. They're such a deep team. We've spoken about this. Team USA on both sides, I believe, the men's and the women's side, bringing 28 players. That's the full roster that they're allowed at this tournament. And so they have a lot of people that they can draw from, unlike some of these smaller rosters. But when you look top to bottom, every single player on that team can throw, they can catch, they can lay out O&D, and they can jump pretty high. So really impressive from Team USA. Just such a deep pool of talent.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like, I believe, Belgium here calling a timeout. Score is 5-2. Belgium making a few too many unforced errors. It's difficult. The person defense coming from Team USA has been suffocating, and there aren't a lot of options. But we saw yesterday with Belgium, they were throwing a lot more deeps, and I'd like to see that again.
Yeah.
I know that Team USA has really great deep defenders, and they are guarding the deeps, but if they can get maybe someone like Yonkers starting off in a cutting position and initiating, that would be really beneficial for them, I think, too.
I think it's hard when it's looking a little stagnant, and you kind of need to go deep even if they are forcing you under to create that space for somebody to come under, and then that'll hopefully open up the deeps. It does look like Belgium is strong with their deep game, but if they use the smaller passes and maybe looked more to other players as well, I feel like it could help them.
Yeah, I agree, and they're putting so much pressure on number 58, Arthur Feller, getting him to basically make every single initiating cut, and that's a lot of pressure on him. And I think it's very easy for the U.S. to see that. If they've watched any footage of this team from this week, they're going to see that right away as well. So maybe switching it up here, putting someone else in the lanes. I think they have a lot of capable people on the field.
Absolutely, and this is the time where you need to go.
Yeah, closing the gap early in this game, not letting the U.S. run away with it a little bit, because they're going to with the opportunity. So taking some shots, taking some risks early in the first half is probably a good choice. So now we see number 99, Orlovsky's there on the sideline, but USA coming out with their first sort of zony look. It's a 4-person cup, forcing Belgium to the sideline. There's one of those scoobers I was talking about. Into the middle, Orlovsky's, the talented handler out of Latvia. Great lateral movement here by Belgium. And a straight shot through the middle. Orlovsky's looks to the end zone. We're about at the brick mark. Feller to Yonkers. He is on the doorstep. Floats one out to space. That's Orlovsky's. And he was definitely the missing piece on the offensive line here.
That was a nice offense from Belgium. I think the zone look was good to get them out of their kind of the hard time they were having on offense when it was man defense. Person defense, I should say.
Yeah, and I think Belgium is in an interesting spot because they do have really strong handlers, but they're relying on just maybe one or two cutters in the backfield. So sometimes when you're going up against person defense and you're running a horizontal stack, that can be really difficult.
It can be.
We saw more of a vertical stack from them yesterday, and it was really disorganized as well. There were a lot of picks against New Zealand. So it's interesting to see them in more of a horizontal today. I would imagine that's going to change, but also great for them to go against the zone and to sort of, bolster their creativity a little bit, look at something different, because I think that was good.
I think it was. I also like how USA came down in a zone, even though there is no wind, and it was just a different defensive look.
Yeah, I agree. And we haven't been seeing a lot of four-person zones as well. It's a bit interesting when it's not that windy out, but that pull goes out of bounds. So Team USA is going to be able to walk it up to the front of the sideline, or to the brick, actually.
Is the brick the middle of the field?
Yes. So I'm not sure if we can see it here. It's been raining a lot. There's a blue X at the brick mark. So when a pull goes out the side, it can be picked up either at the brick mark or on the sideline where it's gone out.
Okay. So
that's a difference in WFDF rules versus USAU. Whereas in USAU rules, you just go on the field wherever it went out. And somehow pulled down an unfortunate drop, but a really great read by the two USA strikers. So now we see the Belgian D-line in a vertical stack and a big huck. It's going to loop, and somehow Orlovsky's comes down with it. I think he gets bumped around a little bit of a double bounce in the air there, but that is an incredible catch.
That was very impressive.
I have no idea how he hung on to that.
He probably got somebody's elbow or something in something.
Definitely in something. But he is good. He is staying on the field, which is great because he is definitely one of the strongest handlers on this team. And a hammer goes up. Unfortunate. Just no options downfield there.
Yeah. USA did a really good job as well of covering the dump. Hard to get open.
And on the flip side, the Belgian reset handler was very close to Orlovsky's there, so really hard to get a throw out into space. But a drop from Adam Jamal. So Belgium here with a chance, and that's a big throw. Looking back at Orlovsky's, and he comes down with it.
Wow.
That is two huge grabs in this point for number 99.
So much faith.
So much faith. And we've seen that all week. That's some of the controversy that we've been talking about because this player comes from Latvia. And he's been picked up as a community member on the team along with Benjamin Urt. And they've followed all the WFDF boundaries. They've followed all these rules. But it's basically because Latvia wasn't able to put together a team. Mm-hmm. And so he petitioned to be allowed on this Belgian team. And he has been absolutely fantastic. Like you could see just in that point, he was throwing, he was catching difficult grabs under a lot of pressure, and you can see there he's definitely one of the most important cogs in this wheel.
That's a great pickup. That's also awesome that he could come.
Yes.
That he could come to Worlds and was able to play.
Yeah, and we've seen a few teams here at their first under-20 Worlds. One of the teams that we streamed yesterday, Dominican Republic, it was their first Worlds. It came up with one win this week
Wow.
over Finland, I believe on Universe Point, so that
That's
was really
huge.
great. We saw, People's Republic of China, both the men's and the women's team. I believe it was the women's first tournament. We also have Hong Kong here and some of these smaller countries, and it's really great to see that here in our backyard here in Waterloo. So yeah, really exciting, and hopefully Latvia can get here themselves in the future.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But Team USA really off to the races. Belgium unable to catch up with those quick passes. So number 18, that's Elliot Moore, comes down with a goal. And those quick dishes are just so hard to stop, so hard to set up some sort of defense on that, especially when it's all happening on the break side. Once you get behind your player, it's almost impossible to catch up.
Stop. Yeah.
Team USA with the pull. Belgium lets that one drop. So Team USA is going to set up, but able to get it out to Yonkers in the middle. USA looking zone here, junky zone. Kinda with a disc. Nice grab. Feller comes down with it. He's tucked away on the sideline. We see Yonkers now shaking free. He's going to look to the end zone at Feller. There are two defenders in the area, and he catches it trailing edge. That's an incredible grab.
So sweet.
Whew. And I was just talking about how Feller's been shouldering a lot of weight here and maybe putting too much pressure on him, but I think he's okay with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the work as well by the other Belgian players. Kinda, I think he did a really good job initiating cutting, getting open, maybe relieving a little bit of pressure from Yonkers and Feller, giving them the ability to set up their cuts and get that throw off and come down with it.
We talk about it all the time, but sometimes the clear is the most important cut in ultimate.
It really, yeah.
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 Yeah, it is. At least I tell myself that
Yeah.
when I'm on the field.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, I will do the clear.
Don't worry about it. I got this under control. Lockdown. All right, so we have Belgium here back on D. Belgium and USA have been trading back and forth. We only have one break so far in this team. In this game. And nice grab on that pull, too.
Yeah.
So Belgium set up in that three-person zone that we saw a lot of yesterday. Working things back and forth. And out to person.
Whoa. I think that there probably was a foul called,
But
on the throw.
But Dinger able to, or sorry, not Dinger. Connor Ryan able to dig that out of the ground. That is a crazy grab.
That was sweet.
So Ng in the middle, looking deep. Good to see him back on the field. Belgium close on all these Ds. DiFrancesco, little lefty, cheeky look. Throw it into space. DiFrancesco looking in the end zone. All the way across. Team USA so patient here. and knocked away by Orlovsky's. But it looks like number 13, Ben Priest, is going to call a foul.
His throw did come out a bit wobbly, so I wouldn't be too surprised if there was some contact there.
But that was a nice recognition D from 99 on Belgium. So Benjamin Priest is going to take it here. Out to the middle, all the way across the break side to Di Francesco. That's nice.
That is nice.
We can see there, Team USA just so patient. Except for that one throw that ended up being fouled, really no mistakes here. They're able to move the disc so well, so quickly, but they know when they have to hold it and wait for the right option. So we have a timeout called. We have USA at 7, Belgium at 5. This game there's only been one break so far. Team USA broke early, I believe the second point, but Belgium trading with them ever since then. So they're going to have to definitely hold here, especially to keep USA from taking half. 8-5, that's a pretty big hole to dig yourself out of, so hopefully they can hold here moving forward. And for anyone tuning in at home, we're going to try and get some score updates. Halftime will be probably happening soon across all of these fields. I've asked some of our scorekeepers to text me scores when they can, so hopefully we'll have some answers for you. Right now we have USA at 7, Belgium at 5. We're coming out of a timeout. USA is to pull. Belgium is going to put out a strong line. We see both Yonkers and Orlovsky's out there, as well as Feller, Kinda, and a few others that I can't see the front numbers of their jerseys, but definitely they need to hold here. They need to prevent the halftime, just one more point to keep things really close. Pull goes down. Yonkers in the middle. USA with a zone here. Is that a lefty scoober? Or just a righty scoober? That was something crazy.
That made me gasp.
And a big throw goes up. Orlovsky's gets it, dunks on everyone. That guy is
floated
on fire.
He floated. He hung. It was nice.
That's a nice hold for Belgium. They really needed that. Score is 7-6 for USA. So if they can break here, that would be really great. We'd be back on serve. Very exciting. And a good attempt at a zone there from the U.S. It was a little bit junky, sort of handlers poaching in the lane, or handler marks poaching in the lanes. And
can you actually explain to me what junky means?
Junky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, junky is kind of what I call things when I don't know what they are.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I would kind of clarify the different zones. Usually you have a cup zone, so you have a person on the mark with either 2 or 3 people setting up either a wall, which is a flat zone, or a cup, which is more rounded.
Okay.
And they prevent different things. A cup usually is trying to contain to a sideline, push it to one side. Sometimes it's forcing middle.
Okay.
Depends on whether you have a rabbit mark, so one person following the disc around, always on the mark, or a switching mark. So that's sort of the tail end of the wall will come in and mark if they switch the side of the field.
Okay.
But then junky, that's less disciplined. it's switching zone.
More like poachy, sort of?
Yeah, more poachy. So an example, classic Canadian example would be like a FSU zone. Yeah, which is, you know, I'm not sure what other people call it. We always call it FSU. Pretty standard across Canada. But anyway, there's a zone breakdown with Gnomes here.
Thank you.
So we have the USA offense looking quick, looking unstoppable.
But maybe they can be stopped.
Out to the sideline. Ing in the middle. Looks like Belgium is trying to force middle here. Out to the sideline. That's Mox. And that's a goal. Easy. Tic-tac-toe. USA takes half, 8-6.
Mm-hmm. I really love how the U.S. have been so safe in the red zone. And I feel a lot of teams, and on teams I've played for, it's hard when you get closer to the end zone. I feel as if there's like a new kind of panic that sets in. But these guys look so smooth and not nervous, so comfortable.
Absolutely, and I think that's what we expected to see for them. They know they're the returning world champions, and they know they've got to stay that way. They want to stay on top, and it's a pretty incredible program coming out of the U.S. So definitely excited to see what they bring in the second half. Belgium as well. They've been, going toe-to-toe with this U.S. team. There's only been one break so far in this game. But for now, we're going to take a quick break going into half. So this is the showcase field brought to you by Cut Camps. We'll see you in about 5 minutes, hopefully with some other halftime updates. All right, welcome back. We are here up in the booth. Myself, Naomi Redmond, joined by Miriam Tingle. We are watching Belgium, USA in the men's semifinal. Just heard news from some of the other fields. The other men's semifinal going on right now. Canada just took half, 8-6 over France. So that looks like that's an interesting rematch. France and Canada played yesterday, 2 days ago, I believe. And France took half on Canada, 8-5, and then went up. It was a little bit of a battle. Canada ending up coming out on top, I think 15-11 or something like that. But it was pretty hairy. And so interesting game happening over there. Still really tight. Just like this game, also 8-6 going into half with USA and a big layout block. But it looks like Feller thinks he had it in his hand, so it's going to be an uncontested foul.
Nice spirit from USA. Also nice D.
Also nice D. Discs looks like it's seen better days. Feller trying to bend it back into shape.
Is there a rule that you can't switch out the game disc?
I believe there is a rule. I'm not totally familiar with that. It's something to do with it. Maybe it can get switched in between points, but not in the middle of the point.
Okay.
I can't remember. But it looks like
this one.
They're going to have to use it after that smackdown D. Kinda upfield. A pick. Loving the use of hand signals here from both teams. Really helpful for us in the booth, helpful for the game advisors on the sideline and all the spectators. We have quite a lot of people on the sidelines here. A lot of parents have traveled with the juniors team, so that's nice. That's easy. Orlovsky's 2 Yonkers. That's a hold for Belgium. And now we're going to get another look at this clinical USA offense. They've been so good so far, not really making any mistakes. We'll see what Belgium throws down on them. I'm not really sure what to expect. The wind has picked up a little bit. We're starting to get a little bit of a breeze up here in the booth. You can see the flags moving a little bit on the far side, the left side of your screen. So not totally sure what we're going to see on the field here. I wouldn't be surprised. USA will be moving slightly upwind, so it's possible that Belgium will throw down that three-person zone or maybe that poachy junk zone that we were talking about. But interested to see. One thing I do know, we're going to have a huge pull to start off from Orlovsky's.
There it is.
Caught. We're in the middle with Mox. Moving the disc very easily. And a layout D attempt, unfortunately, just out of space. And that is our first mistake of the game from this American offensive line. And Belgium has a chance to break here. I believe this is the first chance that they've had. It's the first turnover that we've seen from this USA men's team. Inside throw, nice grab. Orlovsky's on the sideline, shoots one deep out into space. That's number 10, Temaray, and unfortunately, second effort, he comes up with it. That is an incredible grab. That is a break for Belgium. We are tied at 8 and back on serve.
That was huge.
Both players, the offensive player and the defensive player, going up early. Like we said, there's a little bit more wind right now. That just hung for a split second. Out of the hands again, third attempt, laying out. He grabs onto it.
And the defense had kind of done everything they could do.
Yeah.
They forced him to go up early, had correct positioning.
Man, that was an incredible grab and a nice throw from Orlovsky's as well.
Yeah.
He's just running show out here for Belgium, so critical on their offensive and their defensive line.
I love how there's no hesitation. He sees that his player has a couple of steps and he puts it out.
Mm-hmm. And that's trust. These guys have only been playing together for a week. I assume especially for him. He might have been an earlier pickup and done some training camps with them, but they haven't spent that much time together. And having that kind of faith in your teammates, that's something that can put a team up. It's really, really beneficial for the team to have that kind of trust.
Absolutely.
And another quick score update. The Italy-New Zealand game on the men's side, I believe that's the 5-6 game. They're at 6-8, so New Zealand leads by 2 points at half. So we see USA putting out virtually the same offensive line that was just out there. They have a lot of faith in these players. They know they're not tired. They're so close to perfect, and just unfortunate turnover right on the doorstep of their end zone there. Very uncharacteristic mistake. And that is a nice pull once again.
Wow. Deep
in their end zone. Belgium already set up on D. Looking at that three-person zone again. Belgium out to person now. Looking deep. That's a fast throw. Can he get there? No, he cannot. That's a nice bid, but a little bit overthrown on the downwind side. And again, just like the last point, Belgium looking at working it up the full 70 yards here. We have Orlovsky and Labzuski set up in the initiating spots. A little bit of confusion. And a big flick huck. That's going to hang. Can he keep it in? Yes, he can. Belgium, 2 breaks in a row. They take the lead for the first time in this game. And that is a huge celebration by Belgium right now.
Wow.
What a throw. Same lane huck from number 99. Remember his name, Orlovsky's. That is incredible.
And number 10 on Belgium? That's
yes.
His second point in a row as well.
Yes.
The receiver on both ends.
And that's Desmarais. We saw him yesterday as well. Impressive strikes both times. He's very quick, but he's definitely a little bit shorter than some of these American defenders. And that is incredible. Belgium takes the lead. This is a game.
Belgium must be so pumped right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped right now.
I'm pretty pumped right now.
It's so exciting as a spectator to see plays like that. It's really exciting. That's what engages the audience. I mean, good, clean offense, that's great too. We love to see it, especially as players ourselves. We play at a high competitive level, so we can appreciate that clinical offense, but sometimes, every once in a while, you need a highlight reel play.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a good test for USA, for them to be down and to mentally stay in the game.
I mentioned their close game against New Zealand, but I'm not really sure if they've even been down in this tournament. I'm not sure if they've ever had to stare at another team ahead of them on the scoreboard. So definitely going to be a mental test for them here. And we see, again, a poach here in the middle. Number 5, that's Dutoit, creating a little bit of chaos. USA working well. Some good coverage from Belgium, but USA able to swing it to the side. Taylor with the disc.
Pick called.
So a little bit of a discussion here. Throw's going to go back. Some discussion, bringing in the game advisor, probably trying to figure out what the stall count is going to come in on. And also the continuation rule here. So it's going to stay with walks. Looks like it's coming in on 3. Benjamin Priest on the sideline. Nice break side shot by number 2. Straight out into space in the end zone. And that's a nice throw out into space. Ryan Connor.
Nice patience from the USA offense.
So now we are tied at 9s. Belgium still up a break here, though.
Oh, because now they're on serve on offense?
They are... Belgium is 1 ahead because they've broken twice, and USA has only broken once.
Yeah.
The score looks to be tied, so if it were in a time cap situation, it would be tied. But technically, Belgium is in this situation ahead.
I forgot about the second break.
Yeah.
I really like both teams' jerseys.
Yeah. I think both very, very simple. The USA, I really like the blue combination. It looks really, really smart with the blue shorts, sort of the shoulder part of the jersey matching the blue shorts. It looks really nice. They're very streamlined. And I've noticed that actually about all the teams here. Most of the jerseys have been really simple, and I like that a lot. I think it looks really smart. So Yonkers in the middle. Back to anchor this offensive line. Feller out to the sideline, cut pick right away. See Orlovsky's pulling triple shifts out here. He's doing so much work, but apparently not getting tired. Another pick. You can see that that stack there is very compressed. Not a lot of space to move, a lot of space to get in someone else's way. Orlovsky's under. He has got a few people going deep, but finds Feller on another under. Nice cut, Bontemps. Unfortunately, there's going to be some sort of call here.
Goes back to thrower. I wonder what the call was.
It almost looked like Yonkers was calling a foul for getting pushed or something like that, but hard to tell. Feller in the middle. Nice cut. Good stutter step from number 21.
Nice work.
And again, a nice cut from Feller, but that is just going to go out of the hands. Running out of time there, I believe, makes it a little difficult. Nice inside shot from USA. They've got a chance here to earn back their break. Inside flicks all the way down the field. And really quick movement, laying out, reach and grab. USA, that's another break for them.
Nice work, USA. Able to come out from being down and stick to the goal.
And I think we'll see that from them. They have a lot of pedigree as a program, and a lot of these players have been in really high pressure games before. I'm sure most of the players on the field have been in a semifinal before in their life and played in front of a crowd. There's so many people who are playing at the high level. We have people on Dig, on Boston Dig, Ironside, Sockeye, Double Wide, all these big name teams that, you know, us folks at home in Canada have heard of.
Yeah, those teams.
Those teams, eh? But really great to see. And so there's so much composure on the D-line as well as the O-line. They're not as frantic. You know, they're making the right choices, taking their time, setting their feet. So really impressive from the American O-line. I did want to note I had a number wrong on my score sheet, and I was calling number 2 Cody Smart as another player. So my apologies for any parents watching at home. My apologies on that. But moving forward, I've got it right. He's a great player. He's doing a lot of work out there.
Great name.
Great name. It's easy to remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Belgium set up in a vertical stack. And unfortunately picked up number 3. That's DiFrancesco. Nice coverage from Belgium. But USA off to the races here. Able to get open on the open side every pass. And that is a lefty throw, but Arthur Feller able to scoop it up. Good read. Yonkers in the middle. Looking at Orlovsky's. He is going to go up against 2 U.S. defenders, and he comes down with it. This is bananas. He's on the end zone line, looking out into space. Running out of stalls here. And it looks like Orlovsky's takes a quick step, maybe cleats his defender there, Adam Jamal. And I am shocked and awed. 3 huge grabs for 99 already. Yonkers. Back to Orlovsky's. And oh my goodness. That was something.
This is so consistent.
Yeah.
Like consistent float. Such good read. And the U.S. defense is really good. Like they're there with him. He just has impeccable timing.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
We are struggling to find our words here, watching these players. When they're able to get Yonkers and Orlovsky's out there together along with the likes of Kinda and Feller. That Belgian line looks virtually unstoppable, and it's so unfortunate too because they don't have Benjamin Oort out there, and we saw when he was out there that relieved some of the pressure from some of those top players, Desmarais as well, number 21 Faber. You know, it's just totally out of this world how good this team could be if Oort was out there as well, but they're holding their own. We are 10-10 right now, toe-to-toe with the reigning world champions, Team USA.
I actually see Oort is cleated up.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, nice pull.
I spoke with Ben Oort before this game, and he told me that he was not going to play, that if he wanted to preserve his longevity, he was not going to get on the field today, but he's got cleats on, so I think he's pretty fired up.
How can you not be?
Yeah, totally. So Belgium set up in a zone here. Like we said earlier, pretty junky. USA on the sideline. Mox in the middle. Out to Smart. It's a big gainer. USA close to the end zone. Nice coverage and a layout grab. Oh, and knocked out of his hands. A ground strip. So Belgium here with the disc. Orlovsky's looking, doesn't like it. Out into space. And a pick. There's that Belgian stack.
I thought he looked a little too open.
Too open, yeah. That's a nice grab. Belgian stack looking very deep. Desmarais with the disc. He has Orlovsky's going deep into the end zone. He is right on the end zone line. Taking all 10 stalls here. A pick again. There's a lot of confusion here in the end zone. I think Belgium knows how huge it would be for them to get this break here. Orlovsky's. And lofts one out into space. It's up high. And that is knocked away. I think Orlovsky is kind of running out of options there, tries to just put one up in the air. You know, I think if it was him in the end zone there, we could have depended on him to have it. But we have the U.S. really off to the races. And we are right on the doorstep. Smart with the disc. Out into space. That's a hold for Team USA.
I like how USA wastes no time on capitalizing on the turn. Gets it right back and doesn't let Belgium set up.
Yeah, that's a nice fast break. We talk about that a lot in Ultimate. Sixers try and run that a lot in Ultimate. You know, it puts the team that's just forced a turnover or had a turnover, it makes it so difficult for them to catch up.
Yeah.
So that you know, it's a good move by USA. But I just want to say, like, games like this is why I play Ultimate. This is why I watch Ultimate. Miriam and I just came back with Sixers from the club Worlds that was in Cincinnati a few weeks ago. And we had a game like this kind of in Belgium's shoes here. We played against Boston Brute Squad, and we went toe-to-toe with them, went to universe point, double game point with them, and this is exciting. Like, this is why people watch Ultimate. It can be so exciting. It's a game of runs. I mean, here it's a game of holds, but it's
such good pressure.
Yeah. And really great to see some more parity in the sport, seeing a team,
From Belgium.
very small team. I can't remember what they came in seeded at, but I believe it was, 6th to 8th. They weren't expected to be in the semis. Certainly weren't expected to go toe-to-toe with this virtually perfect American team. So this is really, really exciting, and we're seeing a lot of sweet plays. Love to see it.
Pick called.
So we have Yonkers with the disc here. USA setting up in a person defense. Orlovsky's. We have another pick called. And Belgium stack actually looking very organized here. I think they're spread out a little, much better spacing. Just unfortunate that some other players got into the mix, but definitely looking better than we've seen for a lot of this game. And that's a big throw. Gonna make it difficult for Yonkers. It's floating. We have about 14 people under the disc, and it's picked up off of Mac. Again, not a lot of options. Orlovsky's going to have to float one out. Yonkers, 5 yards outside the end zone.
Need to clear.
And that is deed, but we can't quite see. Looks like Kinda towed the line. Not sure if he held himself in.
That was great defense.
That was great defense. And from both sides, I think, especially Team USA, hustling to get under that disc, that hospital pass. It floated for, felt like a day.
It definitely touched multiple hands.
Yeah, it went through a lot of hands. And sometimes that garbage collection, the person at the back of that crowd of people.
It's the reason why garbage collectors make good money.
They're critical.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have some instant replays here out on the field from Belgium and from USA. So it's going to go back. So Yonkers is going to take it just outside the end zone. I believe the stall count will go back to whatever it was when he threw it. We have Hammer on the mark. Feller isolated in the middle. I believe Yonkers will look directly for 99, Orlovsky's. And he does in the middle, a little bit more space. Looking break side. That is a nice throw. Kinda into the hands of Yonkers. That's a triple dab. Belgium ties things up once more. We are 11-11.
Wow, what a game. And that, I really like how Belgium, I think their problem was that they were kind of cluttering the open space. A lot of people were cutting into that area, and that's how USA was able to get a hand on that disc. And I like how then they swung it around to the break side, and it totally opened up the space. Looked so good.
I think that's what they call textbook.
Textbook, yes.
Textbook. That's what you're supposed to do. We did see, especially yesterday, because it was so windy. The wind was gusting. I said earlier, 40 kilometers an hour. I don't know the miles conversion, probably 25 miles an hour, something like that. And it was crazy. And every single team that we streamed yesterday was using about 7 yards of the field on the sideline widthwise. They were just jamming it up the sideline because it was so hard to break it out into the middle.
Yeah.
And it was the teams that were able to do that better that came out on top. We streamed the U.S. women against I forget now. Oh, Colombia in the morning. And they were so good at moving it off the sideline because they have such depth in their throwers. And that killed Colombia. And we saw the same thing when Belgium played New Zealand. It's just the ability to move it off the sideline into the middle of the field, it's game-changing. So U.S. looking very clean here. We have Ng just outside the end zone right away, and that's a goal. Very easy hold for the U.S.
We see Ort is back on the field. I hope he's okay.
And he's cleated, but that's also going to be a coaching decision here. The coaches might not put him on. He's been cleated for a few points now, and we haven't actually seen him go on the field. Seeing how strong this Belgium team has been in this game already, if they add Urt into the mix, that might be game-changing. I don't really know.
I don't know either. Sometimes it's hard to throw in a player in the middle of a game. I feel like you build a lot of chemistry with your teammates through a game.
Yes.
Sometimes, though, it can really be what you need to win.
Yeah. And we see him going off the field. Watching him walk, you can see he's walking with a little bit of a limp. And these players are young. They're, 17, 18, 19 years old on the field. And they have a full career ahead of them. Yeah. It's so hard. You're at the World Championships in the semifinals going toe-to-toe with Team USA. It's so hard to not want to be on the field and to feel like this is the end-all, be-all. But, him amongst other injured players at this tournament, they've got long careers ahead of them, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing their names for a very long time. So, I think I'm okay with the decision to keep him on the sideline, but we'll see what happens. And we have Belgium very deep in their own end zone.
The wind has picked up here quite a bit as well.
Definitely, and it's switching directions too. It's feeling very swirly. So we have Orlovsky's on the sideline. No breaks for this guy. He is looking deep. That is a nice looking throw. It's going to float and almost, but we are going to call a foul here. Ben Yonkers feels like his hand got knocked out of the way a little bit, and I think that's definitely possible. There were, 3 bodies underneath the disc, a little bit of contact, and you could see it get knocked. So it's going to be a foul, no contest. That's
really
wild.
Impeccable.
Yeah, and Team USA has been known for their great spirit for a very long time, and that it's so easy to get frustrated in that moment and immediately contest, but that is quite something. That's a huge throw from Orlovsky's. We're trying to see him. He's catching up. He's stuck at about half field, but so Belgium here off that pick, stall count coming in on 5. Yonkers to Feller. He is on the end zone line. Throws a scoober.
Pick called.
He's going to go back. Whew.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Nice throw to the middle. Looks like another pick. Things are getting a little messy. The Belgian stack very compressed into the end zone. Everyone's in that end zone. Great patience by Feller. That's a lot of contact. Kinda lucky he's able to get up. Got to stay composed here. And there's that scoober we were talking about. That is dirty.
Wow.
Belgium again ties it up. That scoober.
Wow.
That is incredible control. And what a read from the Belgian receiver. I believe that was number 6, Mosquake. Holy moly, this game.
Wow. I think that was it was definitely questionable. I feel like a scoober, there is quite a bit of wind, and a scoober is kind of always a little questionable, especially in the end zone. But I like how they put it out to that break side because that's the more open side. And just getting that there in any way possible.
Yes.
And Yonkers seems to like that scuba.
Yeah. And we saw it from him yesterday a bunch, and the difference here is that scuba is like on an inside-out angle. So it's floating into the ground instead, because if it was the outside, the conventional scuba, it would just get pushed right into the ground. Yeah. And so, that's the downwind side. If you open up the bottom half of the disc, it's not going to make it, essentially. But that one had tons of float with the high side of the disc getting pushed. It's really hard to describe. I'm using a lot of hand signals, and I'm sorry. I'm at a loss for words, but what a throw. And here we have Benjamin Oort. He is going to pull.
They're doing it.
For the fans. It's going to be great to see that firepower. He's going to take the backfield in this zone, guarding the deepest player. USA has it. They're trapped. We are into person defense now. Nice transition by Belgium. And stifling, that's a long 10 stalls. Smart in the middle. Looking towards the end zone. That's going to float. And just out of the hands, a bit too early of a jump. So that's a nice grab by Team USA.
I like the Belgium melt is really good.
They're really good.
They're very good. And I like as well how USA, they also adjust as soon as they melt their zone, and they adjust their cutting for man very quickly.
Yeah.
It's very pleasing to watch.
Yeah, it's kind of, you don't really see the melt happen, especially because that zone, it's 3 people kind of hovering around the disc, and they're somehow able to switch really well. You can see them. There was some sort of miscue in the backfield. One person left open, but he just filtered in, took the handler on the far side, or the close side to us here on the camera. And that worked really well because that's the least threatening person on the field. So really heads up to Belgium. It seems like they've practiced this zone a lot. We saw it yesterday against New Zealand, and it was really, really good. And it's good here. And, USA, they're stronger throwers. It's not as windy, so it's quite a bit easier to break right now. But, kudos to Belgium because they were able to string through a very useful and successful zone at this Worlds tournament. Big pull. It's going to crash into the ground. Yonkers in the middle. He's got Feller on the break side, but otherwise not a lot of options. And around a bidding American player. And a bit of a, backpack in that situation. We're going to call a foul. Interesting. I feel like that's an interesting call because I think Yonkers got pushed probably into moving there. Nice around shot. Feller's got it. He's got hops. It's Dutoit in the middle. Back to Yonkers. Yonkers chewing up tons of yards.
They have such hard D downfield.
And that's a little bit of a collision. We're definitely starting to see this game ramp up a little bit. We are at 13-12. This is a tight game. Both teams obviously hoping to go to the finals tomorrow here on the showcase field. And so you're starting to see, body control go out the window a little bit. We've already seen a few collisions in this point. A little bit more contact than what WFDF allows. WFDF rules here, but we'll see what happens next. And there's that scuba. That's a mistake. U.S. going to be able to pick up the disc very close to the end zone. We have Ryan Dinger on the disc with Henry Ng. Going to try and shake free. That's great defense. And a hand block. Orlovsky's with the hand block. We have a player going deep right away. Out into space. Feller. Belgian Cutters playing it very safe. Yonkers, hands in the air, doesn't see anything. These players are exhausted. You see the U.S. covering deep players, but unfortunately, and we have another fast break situation here. Henry Ng outruns his mark, but doesn't see the disc all the way into his hands.
Just slightly misses it.
Maybe
like
checking his feet.
Injury call. Does that mean that the throw would go back?
I don't believe so. That's number 6, Dylan Villeneuve. I think that it would stay because it was a turnover, and it doesn't look like that injury happened on any contact. It might have been before. He was laying out before and decided that he couldn't play another turnover of defense. So okay. I think that's that situation. Not totally clear, but Belgium going to take a timeout here. I think that's a great call. Gives them some time to organize themselves, set up. And I believe on that injury call from Team USA, Belgium put in Benjamin Oort. So he is going to be on the line going the other direction on offense.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
This is so exciting.
I know.
I can't believe it.
I know.
What's the score? 13-11?
13-12.
12. Wow.
Yeah. So we are very close here.
And
looking at the time. Yeah, we have 15 minutes left, so it's first to 15 or whatever happens with the time cap. So I with 15 minutes and both these teams being fairly clean on offense, with a few exceptions, we've seen some turnovers, but we've also seen a lot of very clean points. So I imagine we'll get to 15 before time runs out. Just not totally sure who's going to get there first. So we have Belgium set up in a horizontal stack this time. That's number 21 picking up, Faber. We have Yonkers in the middle, Bontemps, Oort, and Orlovsky's, and Feller. That's a pretty strong-looking line in the backfield. Not entirely sure who's going to make the first cut. It's going to be Orlovsky's, and that's an errant throw. A little bit of grip block, but Oort already showing his worth on the field. Yonkers gets it back. Oort, quick change of direction. He gets it. Puts up a big one. Orlovsky's, can he do it? No, he can't. USA has a better position on that. That's a great box out, great help D. That's something that Team USA is doing really, really well. They're having their deepest person peel off, help on the deep defense. They can see these throws going up. Team USA Ano. That's into the turf. So here we go. Belgium again. They're just behind the brick line. Oort breaking ankles, even though he's only got one good one himself. And that is into the end zone. We are a tie here in this game. 13-13. We've got Belgium. We've got USA. Tie ball game.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. just like a couple uncharacteristic, I feel like, mistakes.
Yes.
And the pressure is so high now that every mistake it really matters.
It matters. And it always matters, and that's something that we actually spoke to quite a bit at the beginning of the tournament. We were filming a lot of pool play games and a lot of the games, sort of the middle seeds of the pools, and we saw a lot more turnovers. Obviously, it was much windier and from some of the lower seeded teams. But looking out here, that's one of the things we said. It was if those teams were going to go up and play against a team like Team USA, they wouldn't let them have a second chance because they're so good. They can, if there's a break chance, they take it and they get it every time. And I never thought I was going to be saying that Belgium was one of those teams that was going to take those opportunities. But here they are, tied up with the U.S. men, and this is such an exciting game. I am so happy to get front row seats to this game. Truly incredible. Orlovsky is with a big pull. He has not taken a break this game. That is a wild pull, and it's going to sit right in the middle in the back of the end zone. I believe that's Mox with the disc. Out to Smart. Belgium in that three-person zone. And that is floating, but Mox is going to track it down. Out to the sideline. We have that nice Belgian transition here. Number 13, Benjamin Priest digs it out of the grass. Nice throw out into space. Cody Smart, incredible stopping speed. And that is a nice, very nice break around shot to the front cone. So that puts USA in range. That is 14-13.
Wow. I think I really so far it seems as if the turns that have come from the US offense have been from their own mistakes. They've been fairly unforced, and I would like to see the same pressure D that US has on Belgium. I want to see Belgium more closer, actually generating Ds based on their defense rather than mistakes. I think that would make the US be in an even tougher position.
Yep. And for anyone who didn't see that quarterfinal game that Belgium was in yesterday, they actually got 2 Callahans.
What? No
on
way.
New Zealand. And
wow.
And so that was totally bonkers. But was
Yonkers one of the guys who go?
No, Yonkers is bonkers, but that actually could be a good. So for anyone at home, I'm joined by Miriam Tingle. So add on to the Tingle. It's Mingle as the nickname. I think we can re-nickname Ben Yonkers Bonkers.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know who put me in charge here in the booth. Someone should take me out. But a low pass. Yonkers in the middle. Orlovsky gets it easy. He is looking deep. Inside out. Backhand. Benjamin Oort. It's floating. Can he get there? And he gets stopped on the jump. I think he's going to call a foul just because I think he got held down a little bit, preventing his own airspace. That was such a nice throw, just floating for days right into the end zone.
I have to admit, I was a little nervous there, just about the contact or possible contact coming, and just in Ort's injured state. And I feel like it would be very regrettable to have him be injured worse.
Yeah, and especially because it's an ankle, that can really affect your ability to jump.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar enough to know which ankle it is and which his dominant jumping foot is, but it can definitely affect you, especially when you're looking up. I know I've personally had a few ankle injuries in the past, and one of the hardest things is getting your confidence for jumping back. Maybe still trying to find it. but but when you're looking up and you can't see your feet, you can't see where you're going, it's so challenging because it makes you nervous, especially when you can see two blue shirts in your periphery. You just don't know what's going to happen. And so, credit to him trying to go up, but it does look like there was a little bit of contact. So that's why we have our game observer in there. He's going to listen to the opinions, to the storytelling of each player and say what he saw. And the difference with game advisors is they can give their opinion, but they can't make a final ruling. So it looks like that's going to be a retracted foul call. So we're going to have USA picking up here on O. Great defense. And we have someone shaking free. That's a big flick out into space. And that is a goal. Team USA putting it together. That is devastating. But for Belgium, amazing for Team USA. What a game.
I'm speechless.
I am speechless as well. I just, that was such an amazing game by both sides. I think a very...
Oh, it's over.
It's over.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's over.
I was like, why does it look like the game is over?
Yes. That was an incredible throw. Unfortunately, just a little bit of blown coverage on the Belgian side, but what a tournament they've had, making it to the semifinals here in Waterloo, taking on the U.S., taking breaks against the U.S., going up on the U.S., totally amazing. Such fantastic play, really great spirit in this game, I think. Some really disciplined calls, and Ben Oort retracting his foul call there in the end zone. I think really commendable and so impressive from both sides. Really impressive game. So, shout out to both of these teams. Good luck to Team USA in the final. Definitely good luck to Belgium in the future. It's a testament to their juniors program and where they're going. So I know I just said a lot, but I feel like I'm speechless. Anyways, we have another game coming up in 25 minutes. It's going to be at 11 a.m. It is the women's semifinal. It's going to be Germany versus U.S., the U.S. women, so that's really exciting. We're going to get some scores for you coming up from the other fields out here, but thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks, Cut Camps, for sponsoring this field. Thank you, Mingle, for joining me up here on the mic today. We're going to hear lots from Mingle today, so stay tuned. We'll see you in 20 minutes, and thanks for tuning in.